Hi everybody, this is Ellie. Thanks so much for joining me today for a flip through of my 2021 bullet journals. I am really excited about this video because I feel like 2021 is the year that I really came into my bullet journal style, both functionally and decoratively. I figured out what layouts I love, what colors I love, and I had so much fun playing in these notebooks. I haven't looked at these first two in a good long while, except for my Marvel rewatch spread, and I'm looking forward to revisiting them with you guys. I do have an entire playlist of my 2021 bullet journals, both the setup and flip through videos, so I will link that in the cards and the description. While I'm flipping through today, I'll probably mention shops here and there, but I won't be able to link all of the specifics because, as you'll see, this is an entire year's worth of bullet journaling. But if you do have any questions, please check out the specific videos for whatever month, because I was always as thorough as I could be with my links in those. So let's get started. As you can see, I have 3 notebooks that I used in 2021. I started the year in a pocket size and ended in an A5. So quite the journey. It was really fun to see how my style translated, and I'm happy to report it translated really well. So in 2020, I spent a lot of time in pocket size. I do love it. I just felt like something bigger. But starting the year, I had this Hobonichi A6 plain notebook cut down to pocket size. I love to include a quote, index, didn't use too much there. I didn't use this future log at all. My word of the year and my goals. Some of the collections that you'll see end up pretty consistent. And same with how I like to set up my months. I actually don't know if this changed at all throughout the year. I love to tip in a piece of vellum, have my monthly script and a sticker. I was using the printables from Peanuts Planner Co. to include the calendar in here. My Calendex, I was trying a weekly overview. Oh, this is cute. I loved putting in my palette. I still choose a Tombow of the month. Actually, there's probably quite a bit of overlap in the colors I chose last year and the ones that I will choose this year. Use my line separating my signifiers from my text. That's one of my favorite things that I do in my bullet journaling. It just feels really, really clean to me and is really easy for my eye to follow. Watching The Good Place. Oh, this is when Dakshina and I first came up with the stationery stockpile challenge for the full year. We were just brainstorming there. So I'm using a day per page here. Keeping my appointments, I use those stickers to emphasize a little bit. Here is really more pen only. Still love that I printed this out. Video notes. Oh, here was my first stationery stockpile challenge dashboard. I will link that playlist up above. We have a new prompt list for 2022, so that is on my Instagram. Definitely take a look and use the hashtag if you join in, because we love seeing what you guys have made as well. Move into February, another piece of vellum. I think all of my vellums, well, most of them are from Mrs. Brimble's Etsy shop. Oh, I forgot how much I love the pocket size. It really functioned well for me. Calendex, I was very consistent with that. Here's my February palette. I pulled a lot of these same washi tapes for this year. I am a creature of habit. Here I remember I was just trying something a little bit different. Couple days on the same page here. I remember not liking this, so. And we've gone right back. I was using my Uni Jetstream, I can tell, one of my favorite pens, definitely my favorite ballpoint pen. Oh, this is cute. The Lunar New Year. I love this. I like when I include doodles because I look at this and I just instantly remember watching Home on that day. Oh, this is when I did a brain dump of screenshots. I should revisit that and see if there's anything I want to elaborate on. Birthday wish list for last year. Oh, the first time I tried to make my own cinnamon rolls, the first and only time. They turned out really well. I should try that again. Oh, stationery stockpile challenge for February. March always feels like green to me. Not that things are really starting to grow here yet in Ontario, but there's a hint of it, and I think it's St. Patrick's Day. I think that might be where the green comes from. Plus, it's my birthday month, and green is my favorite color, so green it is, and green it is in 2022. Oh, I can see I didn't finish marking those off, or here. Okay, so I slowed down in March. Oh, I can see. So when things start changing, that's when I look back and know that, well, I needed to change. This is an interesting layout. It's a little harder for me to follow, although fun. And I could see how it would be functional, but I obviously stopped using it there. My March palette, same color this year. I have not picked out any washi tapes yet, though. Oops. I love this pen only too. It's just very simple. Oh, Girls' Day. That was with my brother's girlfriend. I can already tell without reading any details. And those are so fun. Okay, so this month it looks like I had actually gone through and set up the entire month ahead. And sometimes I do that if I'm in a little bit of a funk and I'm having trouble getting into my system every day. As you can see, it didn't actually help me get into it. It happens. So let's see, at the end of it, I did put a tab for my notes that I made that month, so video notes, some washi swatches, more video notes. Here's where I was brainstorming about what I might want to do in my next planner. More brainstorming. And then I ended up leaving a fair amount here blank. I could have probably fit another month in here, but I must have given myself permission to change because I needed it. So I was here, we've got the end. I was just practicing different layouts. Oh, here's where I was practicing that new weekly, some colors, swatching, headers, and my favorite washi swatch page. So this was great. Love this little pocket. But I was definitely excited to move into this A5 size Leuchtturm. So this is a bullet journal edition 1 notebook, the original. So it has, I believe, the 80 GSM paper. And my first ever attempts at bullet journaling were done in a Leuchtturm maybe 7 or 8 years ago. So honestly, this kind of felt like coming home, and I was surprised by how much I loved this notebook. This might be one of my favorite planners. Like if I had to go through all my completed ones that I have and only keep one, I think it might be this one. But luckily, no one's going to make me do that. Again, I tipped in some vellum, just put my name. I have my key here. Someone had asked for it at one point, so I had written it out. My index, I just drew the line down the middle because I like how much easier it is to just find the page for me. Oh, here's where I was trying to calculate when I would need to move to a new notebook. I did my future log. I actually never really turned to this. I didn't find these spreads super functional, although I loved making them, so I always do. Some quotes, my word of the year, and goals. I do like to rewrite that usually in my planners, whichever one I move to next. my movement and meditation tracker. I did a pretty good job keeping up with the tracking. Not necessarily the habits themselves, but hey, there are check marks in both, and I'm going to consider that a win. Maybe one day well, you know what? In November and December, I didn't do either. I already know that. I was really busy with my contract, so I could just go through and put those dots in to make it a complete year. But I really love these spreads, and these were both inspired by Lindsay Scribbles, the way that she does her trackers. Moments, so I included some of those. I kind of stopped in the summer, but happy to have what I do have in here. Intentional wish list. Didn't end up putting a lot on here, and yep, did get both of those things. My grid spacing page, I use this a ton. Cheat sheet, just the pens I like to use. And then we come to a similar layout. So we've got the vellum tipped in for the month. And here's where I went back to basics. Well, I mean, I played around. This isn't as basic or simple as Ryder Carroll outlines, but I drew in my own April calendar. I had a mini one to cross off. I ended up doing this little Dutch door because I don't love flipping to a bunch of different pages to write things down and track things. It just becomes annoying to me and I don't end up doing it. So I hoped that this would make it all feel like one spread, and I can't really forget what I can see. So that was the thought, and it worked out really, really well for me. So tasks, Calendex, and I would do a couple different random things here. So in April, this was right back to basics, how Ryder Carroll outlines it. I didn't know how to do the line separating my signifiers and my writing because each day ostensibly had a different amount. So just playing around to see. Ooh, my Blue Jays baseball tracker. I love this spread and I will definitely do it again this year. Now I'm trying to get that line in because I knew I really worked better with it. Playing around, brain dump. I'm bumping over the margin a bit here, trying different headers, using the same Tombow color for the whole month. Again, I like the feeling of cohesiveness. Oh, wardrobe, I tried to, what's it called, like color test myself. I mean, I don't know if that's correct or not, but I did discover on my own that I'm a deep dark winter if you follow that sort of thing. Yep, seeing how it works out, trying different headers. Here I'm trying different pens, so I don't think I've seen a sticker in here yet, which is totally fine. Oh, I like looking back through these pages. And here's where I first started 2 columns. So until then, I'd gone, I think, yeah, I hadn't had any columns, and this worked out okay. This feels nice and really spacious as well, but as you'll see, 2 columns became my favorite. So we move into May. I left a little bit of space here. I didn't do this on purpose. I think this was just how much vellum I had left, but I really liked it, so I continue on with it. This was one of my favorite months in terms of color and decoration. I ended up moving my Power Sheets tracking into my bullet journal itself. So I did all the prep work in the Power Sheets. I still filled out the tending list if you're familiar with it. And then I moved the specifics right onto this spread again, so I didn't have to worry about going to a completely different system to track. I did it here and I just migrated it all at the end of the month. So love it. I had my symbols, I had my progress bars, and my daily habits. Calendex still going strong. I was tracking my videos and coming into my own with these 2 columns. So I was using the Tombow of the month to draw the lines. And I like how that makes it more subtle than using the black pen, but you can still see it. And it was just really, really easy. I just needed my pen and my Tombow and I was good to go. Including some doodles. This was our Lord of the Ring rewatch. Some journal prompts. Here is where we had to say goodbye to Desi. I still miss him so much, guys. I had a little tip in just because there was a lot of journaling I wanted to include there. The days after, I didn't get in here at all, but I had scribbled on Post-its, so I just stuck them in and kept going. And I ended up with a blank page at the end of the month, so I just included a quote and a little doodle. June. It's a slightly more colorful spread. I still prefer maize, but this is fun too. Here I'm starting to incorporate Planner Monkey Co.'s tiny icons or mini icons. Those are my favorite, and you'll see them pop up probably a lot more. Brain dump, wish list, and notes. I liked being able to just put those pages right in. I still put my appointments in red and they still pop out for me. See, some more icons. Some spreads here that didn't really come together. That's okay. Something I had cut out of a magazine. I always wanted to be more of a collage person and use magazine images, but I don't really think that that's my style of planning or journaling at the moment. I mean, I love it so much. If you follow Emmylou Arts, that's the kind of thing I'm referring to, but I think I'm just slightly more minimal than that, and that's okay. But I did end up having a lot of clippings that I never really used. So that's how I've trialed and errored to find out what my style is. My 2021 palette, you could see I didn't get back in here either. So I will fill this out because I love this spread. Again, really similar colors. Yep, I used this for February and I'm using this for March. So I wouldn't be surprised if I use the same ones because I love them so much and nothing is wrong with that. Cycle tracker, we've hit July. This is a fun one. I enjoy the yellow here. Didn't do so great with tracking, but I tried. We go on. Ooh, here I decided I would do the lettering and doodle challenges by Cindy Contarbaldo at Llama Letters. So that was really fun just to get a little bit more creative, practice my lettering and my doodling. Oh, this was my Getty cover that I kept this notebook in the entire time I used it. And I really enjoyed this one because the doodle challenges were all stationery related, so it felt like a sign. Here I embedded my video notes right in here, so these are all of the links I wanted to add. My brother's baseball. Oh, here's where I started thinking 2022 planner thoughts. So in July. And it's funny because where I've ended up is nowhere on any of these brainstorming lists, but that just tells you that sometimes needs change. August, I started stamping the months and really like that. I've gotten into using these alphabet stamps a lot more now. Keeping this exact same system here because it's working so well. Oh, I continued on with the lettering and doodles. This one was fun. This was more detailed, it looks like, than the stationery doodles I did. Oh, I like that kind of typewriter font. Thinking about standard. I was really leaning towards standard. Oh, and here's my first Marvel rewatch spread. So if you haven't seen on Instagram, I've shared my newest one where I did little doodles and loved it. But this was when I first started watching back in April of 2021. So I had just printed out the titles of the movies and, well, checked them off in here as I went. But I'm now, where am I now? I'm all the way over here. But there have since been some shows and movies added to the end. So Endgame is next for me. You can see I had a haircut there. That's why I love using these. It shows me something about that day just at a glance without me needing to read it. But I love this, so I still keep a ton of memories in here, and then I have my tasks throughout. And this bullet journal was just whatever I needed it to be. Had another empty page here, so I included another quote. Moved into September, I still used my stamps. Here I stamped, it must have been backwards, but it's hard to tell. But putting on a little sticker, you know how Leuchtturm gives you those extra labels? I use those to cut out in case I make any stamping mistakes, so that worked out. September, still going strong. Oh, that's a nice bright yellow I've used here. It's a golden type of yellow. I guess it feels like fall to me. Monthly reflection ideas. I like keeping a monthly reflection, and I've carried that over into 2022. I did a Q&A for one of my voiceovers, so I just put the questions there. Make happy day. End of the month. Empty page. Quote. I only did it if I had the empty page. Oh, this one for October was from Caffeine and Paper Co. And here's where things really slowed down for me. And that is because that is when I picked up my teaching contract, and I've talked about this in various videos, but the bullet journal just wasn't working out for me. It was too open. So first, this is before the contract. I did this quote page because I love this quote. I love Anne of Green Gables. That was one of my favorite book series to read when I was growing up. More 2022 planner thoughts. Oh, I just look back at myself and I'm just thankful I didn't start buying too early because things changed so much for me. Here we go. Same style. Brain dump wish list. Thanksgiving. And I think, where did we start? I think this was my first day was here, the Friday. And that's where I can see this week, I just didn't get into it. Again, it was too open, and in kindergarten, I didn't have a desk. I never had a chance to sit down and pull out my planner, so I did my best just to jot down notes. On the weekends, I was still making lists of things at home, and otherwise, I just wanted some memories, so it wasn't all a blur. And I'm glad I was able to get even a little bit here. Like, here's where we carved the pumpkin at school, the Halloween costume party. Oh, Halloween costume party, yeah. So we've come to the end of the month. Here, what's this? Oh, I was looking for some books for the classroom, so I was just writing down titles and where I could find them. And that brought us to the end of this notebook. Let me see. Okay, so here is where I was looking at some different layout options. Actually, these layout options I think were for the coming bullet journal. I was trying to figure out what might work for me in the school setting. And the thing about the school setting is I did also have like paper planning for school. Like I had lesson plans separate from my planner, and they needed to be separate because I had a teaching partner and I needed to leave them in case somebody needed to come in and cover me. So it felt redundant, I think, to be in both in that way. Just some Post-its I stuck in here. Oh, video ideas. I actually really loved this setup. This was before I knew I'd be getting a contract, so I didn't follow this at all, unfortunately, but I could see myself doing something similar this year. And I like that they're on the tabs because it's removable. I'm still not the best at scheduling consistently for myself, so there we go. Oh, here, I was asking somebody to make me a pen case out of cork to go with a bag she was making me out of cork. I actually have that right next to me here. So I had just sketched some ideas and she made this for me. I haven't started using it yet. It's upside down. But I got to choose like the cork color and this fabric, which I love, and just make sure it was tall enough for a tombow, which I do not have at hand, and this is a magnet. So anyways, this is fun and pretty nice and slim. It's cool to see it come to life actually, right beside my little drawings. Here's where I was making a list of covers and if I wanted to sell them. I did sell actually a number of these and just never ended up tracking it, but it was good and illuminating to make a list there. Oh, this was when I was on Planner Monkey Co.'s PR team. I did a spread with the requirements, the wish list, all that fun stuff. Some doodles. This is when I was planning for the Finding My Style video series. Well, 2 videos. I guess it's still a small series, a very limited series. Just general notes, what I have to do. Oh, again, some stuff that I had been selling. This was one of my brother's baseball games. I was keeping score in the back as best I could. What do we have here? Oh, more pen test pages. And then I had some specific pen test pages. So brush pens I had here. And fine liners. Nope, not fine liners, just black pens. And that was it. I did some scribbles here as needed. But other than that, that was the end. And I did a washi swatch page here, which I loved. So that carried us right into the 3rd bullet journal notebook, which is the exact same as this one, still edition 1. This one, I didn't end up using a leather cover. I was using a Lauren Phelps clear vinyl cover so that I could wipe it down as needed. So I just stuck the pen loops on the end pages. I think, did I glue them together to make them stronger? No, I don't think so. Oh yeah, this one I did glue down. And these are just from Amazon. They're not the Leuchtturm brand. I just bought a cheap pack and they worked okay. I did 2 so I could carry my Tombow and pen. This is a Caffeine and Paper Co. vellum. And you'll see, this bullet journal is not like the others. So I drew my line here in my index, didn't use it. Because I knew I was only going to be in this for 2 months, I didn't include nearly as much as I did in my other bullet journals. I did like this format though for a future log. I like being able to see the whole calendar and to actually write in the boxes. So just something to note if I move back to a bullet journal. Grid spacing page, I do need that. I wanted to keep my trackers in here for the last 2 months and then just transfer that data, which I mean, I didn't, but well, I'll definitely transfer my cycle. And then again, like I said, nothing else to transfer really. November. I went ahead and set it up. I mean, I put the birthdays in, but I just couldn't get to it. I was also trying to include a little bit of my pre-planning for lesson plans in here. Did not work out, so I didn't do it in December. And here I was trying to figure out what system would work best for me. I wanted a weekly overview, didn't use it, weekly task list, and then I was trying to do daily pages and separating it into work and home tasks. Okay, so, you know, I got to it a little bit more, but it still felt pretty empty. And that's okay. I mean, it was trial and error, right? I needed to see what would work or what wouldn't work. Here I use this a little bit more, still separating it into work and home. November washi palette. I did Saturday and Sunday on the same page because it just didn't need that much space. Here's where I'm remembering how well I function with the Dutch doors. So I did my weekly overview, which worked out well. This was like a spirit week. And this is where I started incorporating a little something different into my key. So my key has a bullet point. Oh, that's in a different notebook. So just a dot for any tasks. And I decided it would be easier for me if I could clearly see what was a work task and what was a personal task. So I kept the dot for my personal tasks and I just did a box for anything work related. So when they were completed, they both get crossed off with an X, but that let me see just at a glance what was work and what wasn't. And that really, really helped. And I carried that through this year. So just a tiny addition to my key that made a big difference. And I liked this a lot better than having it separated like this, which just felt like a waste. I don't know. So here again, I mean, I used it a little bit. End of the week, got really, really quiet there. Nothing got written. Monday, you know, I start off strong and then just kind of peters out. That's when I realized I did not need that much space, simply wasn't using it. Tried the weekly overview like this, and then here in more of a true bullet journal style, just however much space I ended up using that day and moving on. That worked okay. Like here I can see there's no Thursday at all. Not really sure. Oh, I started marking out my calendar here, but then realized this was my title page spot, I think. Yes, so here's the calendar that I did for December and clearly didn't use. I like the calendar itself. It was smaller. I knew I didn't need that much space. I figured it would just be one spread, no Dutch doors, but did not use it. Kept trying though, and you know, I'm just happy I got anything in here at all. It was a really tiring and busy time, so it's good to see trying things out. I think this was the point where I was starting to realize that my plans for 2022 maybe needed to be tweaked, and I was seeing how I liked a vertical layout. Now I know I like vertical, but I just wanted to try it while I was in the classroom as well and see if that could potentially work for me. So here I've gotten out my icons again. That was fun to play around. We had a Christmas spirit week, so wrote all those special days down. And oh, that was the last week I was working before the Christmas break. And then after that, again, was really, really busy trying to do everything that I had put off while I was teaching. And I just have some notes. That's it, just some kind of scratchy playing around notes, but really happy to have gotten whatever memories in here I could. So that's how I did this. I had put this tab here, so I didn't use very much of this notebook, and usually I do try to use more, but if I'm in a bullet journal, I do start a new one in January. I like that fresh start, and I don't feel bad about it. I use the ends of these pages for scratch paper if I need it, and sometimes I don't. I try my best not to be wasteful, but this is one of those times that I do let myself switch for that fresh start in January. What was this? Oh, these were like Christmas wish lists or shopping lists. That was something we had up when we were renovating the bathroom. My dad and my brother were. What do we have here? Oh, my spreads that I wanted. So this is when I knew I was getting the Wonderland 222. I think I decided mid-December or maybe even late December. I don't even know, guys. It was really last minute. This is when I was getting my cover made by MyLeatherHabit. That was also a really fun process, and I was super happy with the result. I was planning on setting up a reading journal, so I was just jotting down notes about what that might look like and practicing some different spreads in here. I think I ended up with something similar to this, but I haven't kept up with it, and I might just end up honestly using a pen to just write down whatever. Oh, a Swish LA order. I guess I had this in front of me when I was placing it. Yeah, probably something like that. And I think that's it, guys. What do I have here? Oh, a couple of washi scraps and a couple of Tombow tests and fountain pen tests. So that is my bullet journal stack for 2021. I absolutely love using a bullet journal, and to be honest with you, I'm using my Wonderland 222 almost the exact same way. Like, I'm still using my key, I'm still keeping my tasks in there, my memories. I do miss the freedom of being able to put the collections embedded throughout the daily pages, or also just have as much space as you wanted per day. I miss that a little bit, but in more of a nostalgic way. Like, I haven't needed it and missed it. I just miss it sometimes because I love the bullet journal system. I also love the Wonderland 222 system. That's, there are so many planner systems to love out there that I'm just having fun with the one that I'm in right now. But I do expect to be back in a bullet journal at some point. I will go ahead and flip through these all quickly so you can see all the pages together without me yammering on. and I will say goodbye now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
I'm really looking forward to keeping these and the memories that they'll bring up whenever I flip through them. Bye for now.